Welcome to FastLaneHandicapper.com. I'm Jeff Nash. I'm here with Lefty Lou Capelli, amazing handicapper. Lou, thanks for joining us. What happens 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby?
I think we have another great race coming up. The Derby was just a great race, so exciting, and I think we're in for another exciting one.
Yeah, well, this is the running of the Preakness, the second leg of the Triple Crown. I'm here with Lefty Lou. We're going to go through the horses. We're going to decide who's going to win. We're going to guarantee who's going to win the Preakness, as we always do. Not always right, but it is a guarantee nonetheless. Let's first talk about what happened in the Kentucky Derby. I think it was an outstanding race. It was a sloppy track. The favorite Journalism came in second, lost by about a length and a half to Sovereignty. Turned out to run a great race, an outstanding horse. What was your impressions of the Kentucky Derby?
I thought it was exciting. I wasn't sure how the slop was going to play into the race, but ultimately the best horses showed who they were, and Sovereignty just was very impressive with that finish. What a strong kick.
Well, Lefty Lou, you had the exacta. Sure, you made a lot of people a lot of money. That was great. The third place horse, Baeza, was a late entrant into the race. The 21 horse ran a good race, came in third. I think you had identified Baeza as a potential player in the exotics, and that's exactly what happened. I am surprised. I'm sitting here today, and I'm still surprised that Sovereignty was able to overcome Journalism down the stretch. I looked at the times of the race. The race was run very fast. I had the Citizen Bull as my number 2 horse. I thought he was going to go wire to wire, get caught at the wire by Journalism. Turns out he burnt himself out too quickly. When I first saw the first quarter fraction, just over 22 seconds, I said that horse was running too fast, and he did. And he dropped out of the race. What surprised me, though, at the top of the stretch, when Sovereignty and Journalism were neck and neck, I was sure that Journalism was going to beat Sovereignty based on prior speed ratings. Last quarter times did not happen. Sovereignty that day, Lefty Lou was the better horse.
He was. And I thought it was going to be just the opposite at the end. I thought Sovereignty was going to give Journalism a tough time at the end and come within a nose. But as it turned out, Sovereignty had the stronger kick. But the Belmont will be an interesting race as well. We'll get there, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting race.
I totally agree. The Kentucky Derby is the MLB All-Star game. I view this, given the horses, many newcomers to the track. It's almost like a AAA All-Star game with a superstar down from the major leagues playing in it in Journalism. But the Belmont, that's going to be quite a race. If the horses that are coming back off the Derby, Sovereignty, Journalism, some of the Baeza, if these horses are coming back, it's going to be one of the great races of our lifetime. But let's get to the second leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness. There are 9 runners. This race is a little bit shorter than the Derby. It's 1 mile and 3/16, but still a race with some distance. It's going to take a lot of talent to win this race. There's still a deep stretch. The Pimlico turns are a bit tighter than they are at the other tracks, so that comes into play. We don't know what the track conditions will be at this point right now, and we're sitting here on a Tuesday. On Saturday, it's supposed to be clear enough to avoid a wet track. But let's take a look at the horses. There are 9 good competitors. What I really like about this race is that you have newcomers that could be potential superstars.
That's what makes it a very difficult case or race to handicap. Some of these younger horses with just 2, 3, 4 races behind them could be very good horses. I guess we'll find out Saturday.
With great pedigree, great connections, but let's go through it. I'll start with the 2 horse. And I do that because Journalism, who finished second in the Kentucky Derby, was my pick to win the Kentucky Derby, did not win, is back for this race, where Sovereignty, who won the Kentucky Derby, and Baeza, who came in third, have passed on this race. Journalism will be, he's 8-5 in the early odds. He will be, I think, even money. on paper, he is the obvious favorite. What's your thoughts on journalism?
I agree. And there are no sovereignties in this race, which to me says journalism is the horse to beat and will be very hard to beat in this race. He's clearly, I think, on paper and in practice, the best horse in this race.
I totally agree. The betting public will agree on race day. Now, the question you have as a horse player is, do you throw your money at the favorite, knowing that the return on that investment will not be very good, or very high? Or do you take a shot on one of the long shots to beat him? That's the question you're going to have to ask yourself in this race.
I think you do both. You just do both, Jeff. This ain't no dress rehearsal.
Well, journalism ran second. Now, his speed ratings are above and beyond any other horse in the race. So he has run faster than any of the other horses in the race. The only blemish, believe it or not, happened to be in the final quarter time of the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
That was an unusually slow final quarter time, and he got outlasted by Sovereignty, who ran a decent final quarter time, but not spectacular. And that's what I think doomed journalism. He could not keep pace with the Sovereignty, but he's coming back here. His running style is interesting because he likes to sit back mid-pack and is hoping for a fast pace, which he got in the Derby thanks to Citizen Bull going way too fast. He allowed the horses, the front runners in the Derby, to come back to him, and ultimately he came in second. Sovereignty obviously won the race. So I want to measure that running style against the other horses in the race and see how he fares. The first horse in the race, the one horse, is goal oriented. It's a Bob Baffert horse, a $425,000 purchase as a yearling. His sire is not this time an outstanding sire. His broodmare sire is a horse that you and I are familiar with, a Fleet Alex.
Oh, wow.
You and I owned a horse that was sired by Fleet Alex. Unfortunately, our horse was not as fast as Fleet Alex.
It's just our luck.
But this horse has done well, but he's only run twice. And I get the sense that Bob Baffert, who's the trainer, when Rodriguez decided not to run in this race because of an injury, this is like the second up.
Right. I thought that as well. I mean, listen, Baffert has the record of 8 wins as a trainer at the Preakness. So can you ever count him out? Probably not. But this horse is, as you mentioned, is only run twice. I won both times, right? Or no, I'm sorry. It's just, this is his third start. I'm sorry.
Right.
And is in the number 1 pole position, which is always difficult. Although Baffert did win twice out of the pole position with National Treasure and American Pharaoh. So I don't know what that means in this race, but I don't think this horse has raced at this level of competition, either of his races. I think it's a difficult race for this horse to win.
You know, it's tough going. As you said, he started as a maiden. He won his maiden race. He won it by 3 1/4 lengths. It was outstanding at Santa Anita Downs. Came back on Derby Day, not to run in the Derby, but he ran in an allowance race, won that race. But to go from maiden to allowance to one of the premier races in the world, it's a big step up.
It is. And I think he ran a faster race in the first race than the second.
Correct.
Right. So I think he had a better run at the first time of it. So difficult race for this horse.
Never count out Baffert.
That's the problem.
And always got to keep him in mind. Journalism, we discussed the 2 horse, but let's go to 3. That is American Promise, the Wayne Lucas horse.
You know, I had a lot of hope for American Promise in the Derby. In fact, American Promise ruined my trifecta. Had a terrible race. I think it's going to be a difficult race based on what I saw in the Derby for him to win this race. He seemed to be improving for a couple races, but the Derby was a big step back. I don't know that he'll recover from that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Now, I remember last year in the Preakness, The Wayne Lucas horse won the race. The gray horse. What was his name?
Oh,
Anyway,
escapes me
yeah.
right now.
That horse was a long shot as American Promise, his early odds of 15-1. I suspect he will run off at about 12-1, 15-1. But I don't see this horse as being competitive as his neighbor was last year.
Yet, if he runs his best race, it'd be a hard horse to not consider as coming in second or third.
Let's go to the number 4 horse. Now, this is an interesting horse that nobody really knows in the United States because he has spent his career running in the United Emirates. Heart of Honor. Jamie Osborne is his trainer. He comes back after finishing second 3 times in a row. The last race, he lost by a nose to Admir Daytona, who ran in the Kentucky Derby, finished last in the Kentucky Derby, but ran against him. And what do you think about Heart of Honor?
Well, it's an interesting story because the jockey is the trainer's daughter, Safi Osborne, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
But it's so hard to judge horses from other countries, especially Dubai, because I just don't think the level of competition in those countries is what is here in the United States. So it's not a horse I'm even considering in any of my bets, quite frankly.
Yeah, he likes to run mid-pack. I agree with you. It's hard to measure how talented the horse is when you're not running against the best in the world. There are some competitive races. The last race was a Grade 2 race in the United Emirates, but again, tough to fly overseas, get on a new track, and to run against the best in the world.
Exactly.
Let's go to the 5 horse, Pay Billy. Pay Billy is also a long shot. He has run in non-graded stakes. He has not run in a Grade 1, Grade 2, or Grade 3 stake races. Has been competitive, has won 4 of his last 5 races in those lesser stake races. What's your take on Pay Billy?
Well, he's a local favorite, right? Maryland bred, has raced all races, I believe, in Maryland, at least most of them. And he does know how to win races. The problem is he's not raced against this level of competition. Locally, I think a lot of folks are going to put some money on him because he's a local favorite and a good story. But I do not see this horse, who has won just minor stakes races, coming in the money in this race.
Yeah, he is the local favorite, runs at Laurel quite often. If I owned this horse, I would run him here too. If I had won 4 or 5 races in Maryland and here comes the Preakness, I can enter, I would enter, and you never know what happens in these races.
In fact, I think he won a race which automatically put him into the Preakness. There's a local race in Maryland, I believe, that if you win it, you're automatically into Preakness. And I think that's how Pay Billy came into this Preakness.
Well, we wish him luck for the locals, but I'm not picking him in my exotics. The next horse is the Todd Pletcher horse. Now, one of the weird factors in horse racing is, as great as Todd Pletcher is, as many derbies and Belmonts as he has competed in and has won, he has never won the Preakness.
He hasn't. He's 0 for 10, I believe. Now, this horse, River Thames, ran a very good race in the Fountain of Youth and came in second to Journalism. So this horse, Sovereignty. He has a lot of talent. He was fast. It was a good race, the Fountain of Youth. I did watch it. And I think this horse has to be considered in some of your exotics.
Yeah, I agree. What concerns me about River Thames is his pedigree to deal with distance. The Bluegrass Stakes was 1 1/8 miles. It was a step up from the Fountain of Youth, which was 1 16 miles. And when he ran 1 1/8 miles, he didn't flatten out. He only lost the race by 3/4 of a length to Burnham Square, and East Avenue, both of which ran in the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
But it just seemed that he didn't flatten out, but didn't have that extra spark down the stretch to overtake those 2 horses. And you can never count out a Todd Pletcher, despite the fact that he's never won a Preakness. Irad Ortiz, one of the great jockeys in the world, it will be his jockey on this race. It would not surprise me if this horse won the race, but I would rather see him in my exotics.
So Pletcher kept him out of the Derby to run this race. So Pletcher must see something in him to keep him out of the Derby and to put him in this race. So I'm going to give him a lot of consideration.
The next horse is a Derby horse. The number 7 Sandman took a lot of money. I read that the win pool at the Kentucky Derby, which of course takes money from all over the world, it's the most widely bet race in the world. Sandman was the number 2 horse that generated win pool money. So somebody liked this horse. His connections, of course, are outstanding. Mark Casse is one of the great trainers in America. The ownership group paid $1.2 million for this horse when he was a 2-year-old in training. That was at the Ocala breeder sale. He's bred by Tappet. Tappet is a great sire that is with a pedigree fit for this Preakness distance. So there's a lot to be said. But he ran 7th in the Derby, got bumped around a little bit, started the race 18th, ended up 7th, but did win the Arkansas Derby in impressive fashion the race before that. What's your take on Sandman?
Well, he had a terrible start in the Derby, but after he got his footing and started to really take off, he went from last to 7th. He was really impressive towards the end of the race, middle to end of the race, and ran very well. Of course, this trainer-owner combination won with National Treasure just 2 years ago at the Preakness. So I think Sandman had a bad race in the Derby. I think with less traffic, this is a horse to watch.
What's interesting is John Velasquez, Sandman's jockey, has never ridden this horse before. So Jose Ortiz, who's on another horse in this race, is off this horse. Velasquez is on this horse. Velasquez usually rides for Pletcher. In fact, had ridden River Thames 3 times before Erod Ortiz took the mount in the Bluegrass Stakes. But Velasquez has shifted to Sandman. So interesting jockeying of jockeys.
It is.
And what it all means, I guess we'll find out on Saturday. Here's a horse that I'm intrigued by. Clever Again, the 8 horse. This is a horse that is trained by Steve Asmussen. Jose Ortiz has given up the ride on Sandman in favor of this horse. He's run him twice before. He's only run 3 times, winning the last 2 races handily, going wire to wire. He has not run integrated stakes. His last stake race, the Hot Springs Handicap in Oaklawn Park, on March the 30th. So he was rested, was really a wire-to-wire, kick-butt type of race. This horse is intriguing. What do you think about Clever Again?
This horse has gotten better each race that he's run. So it's one that has to be considered. If he continues the progression he's made over his first 3 races, he could definitely be a player in this race.
Yeah, I agree, Lou. This horse scares me. This horse, his sire is American Pharaoh, who, as you know, won the Triple Crown, including the Preakness. There's everything to like about this horse. His broodmare, his mom, Flattering, was one of the great distance horses in American history, and this horse probably could run all day. I suspect he's going to run right to the lead and catch me if he can.
Right. And I think, when you said earlier about what's exciting about this race are some of these newcomers with some definite talent. This is the horse I was thinking of when you said that. This horse, when I give my picks, I'm not going to have this horse in my picks, but I'm going to make some bets with this horse.
Yeah. I am intrigued by this horse, and he will be in my exacta. The last horse in the field is the 9 horse, and this is another horse that has piqued my interest, Gosker. Gosker is extremely well bred. His broodmare sire is Tappet. His sire is Nyquist. He is owned by Racing Connections Elite. His jockey is Luis Saez, who is one of the most intriguing and successful jockeys in the country. He has only run 3 races. His last race was the Grade 3 Lexington, which he won by 2 lengths.
Right. But it was a Grade 3. He ran a very good race. Intriguing horse. Not going to be in any of my wagers, though. Just don't say it.
The early odds on Gosker are 20-1. I find it hard to believe that the odds will be that high. If they do end up high, you're going to get a boatload of win bets, at least on my online account. I don't think he's going to end up at 20-1. He is a horse that, again, he won the Lexington. It was a good race. I would say a good race, but not a great race. It wasn't one of those races that blow you away, as I found on Clever Again when he won the Hot Springs in Oaklawn Park, which just blew the field away. Maybe the competition was better at the Lexington, but Gosker is definitely, if he's on the improve, will be there at the wire.
I agree.
So let's get to our picks. Lefty Lou, you never seem to lose. So I'm playing your picks. What do you got for us?
Well, I see journalism winning the race. I see no other way around it. I tried to logically and pessimistically look at journalism as compared to the other horses, but I just see journalism winning. I think it's a race for second and third. Second, I see Sandman coming in second. I think Sandman's going to have a great run, and River Thames I'm going to pick as third.
Yeah, I'm going to join you on journalism. On paper, this horse is just so significantly above the others in terms of form and history and pedigree. I think he did not give it his all in the Derby. Maybe it was the sloppy track. Maybe it was the race was a little bit too long. Something happened that day. I think he's coming back, and if he is ready, will blow this field away. I am, however, going to pay special attention and pick for my exacta the number 8 horse, Clever Again. I see this horse as a potential superstar. If he improves off his last race, he will do extremely well. He will take the lead. And given the fact that there's not a lot of speed in this race, a lot of horses like to track the leaders. They'll rate just a bit. And you have several horses in that category. It gives Clever Again the opportunity, especially with Jose Ortiz rating this horse, to take the lead, not go too fast, as Citizen Bull did in the Derby. And if the pace is modest to fast, there is a good chance Clever Again goes wire to wire. However, journalism is the class in the race, and I do predict journalism will take him down the stretch. So it is 1 and 2. For my third pick, I'm going to throw in a bunch of horses in the exotics for my try and superfecta. Gosker, River Thames, even goal-oriented because of Bob Baffert. So I'll spread the wealth around to the other horses. But I love that exacta. Journalism, Clever Again. I'm boxing that exacta with a little extra juice on journalism on top.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I can't argue against you, because if this horse continues to improve, it's going to be a spectacular race. Definitely going to be a spectacular race. I am going to make a long shot bet on American Promise. I had so much hope for American Promise in the Derby. I think he just had a bad race. I do think if he runs his best race, he could be a long shot winner, but I don't see it happening. I think journalism is going to be the horse.
All right. Well, thanks, Lefty Lou. I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to Adam Malamut and the Malamut Law Firm for giving us this great opportunity to sit in the Malamut studio, which is spectacular with all these signed jerseys, enormously impressive. And we appreciate Adam's generosity to let us use this and to, of course, let you know what Lefty Lou and Jeff Nash think about the Preakness. We'll also be back for the Belmont Stakes, that heavyweight matchup. And good luck to you, Lou.
Good luck to you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.